What's up, and welcome to Two Balls, One Puck, where we talk about the Buffalo Sabres, Bills, and New York Yankees. My name is Tommy. I'm here with my two brothers, Joey and Jacob. It is June 21st, 2023, and we're going to talk about those three teams that I just mentioned because we like talking about them. And Joey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. Enjoying the official start to summer. It's one of our two other brothers' birthdays today, so happy birthday, Andrew.
Yep. Happy birthday,
we
Nunu.
love you. It's just going.
Nunu. I call it
Nunu.
Yeah, and that it did not stem from the Teletubbies Nunu. For anybody that watched Teletubbies, I call him Nunu, and we have always called him Nunu as a nickname. But I did it because I couldn't say Andrew when I was a kid. So Nunu was the next closest thing. So anyway.
He's been in my phone as Nunu for...
Me too.
For my whole life. Well, since I've had a phone.
Exactly. Same. No, so going good. And summer's, sunny, Western New York right now. I love the warmth.
It was nice out today.
So nice. The last couple of days, there was a little bit of rain, which I know we desperately needed. So, no, I can't complain here, brother. Excited to talk some sports with you guys.
All right, brother.
Jakey.
How about you, Jake?
How are you?
Weather is fine, but I don't like it because I have to wear business casual for my summer job, and I'm walking outside a lot, especially in Jamestown.
Same.
So having a long sleeve and pants on in the sun, stupid.
Yes.
Go away, son.
You could roll up the sleeves.
I do.
Do you wear a shirt under your shirt?
Depends. I didn't today, but
Bro, it'll cool you right down if you
I know,
don't.
but then you show
saying.
it's just a little less professional.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, you look hotter, bro.
Well, wearing a shirt under your shirt?
No, not wearing a shirt is less professional.
Yeah, I disagree wholeheartedly.
Depends. Are you wearing a tie?
No, it's just a button-up. It's like a button-up rolled sleeve.
I mean, I don't pop the top button to look like, Guido City.
Well, do you tuck your shirt into your pants, or is it a no tuck?
No, it's a tuck.
See, I have no tucks because they're way better.
Okay, so...
It depends on the look. I have to agree with Jacob. If you're not tucking, I think the undershirt is better.
I agree.
If you're tucking
you tuck the undershirt
and you've got a belt and everything...
not tucking.
Yes, so if you are wearing a dress shirt that is untucked, then having an undershirt looks weird.
Oh, I'm on the other side. I think if you have...
Oh, wait, no, I misspoke. If you are untucked, an undershirt looks good. If you are tucked in and you've got a belt and it's, nice and tight and organized, then the undershirt, I don't think, is necessary. Dress shirt buttoned all the way, not very top, but to there.
No, right.
But if it's untucked, you get away with that second button, and you kind of want to show the undershirt a little bit. It's a different look.
If it's untucked, because that's casual. That's just straight up. That's not like... Yeah, that's like... I know what you're saying.
No, because you're old now, because dress shirts that don't get tucked in are now business casual. Tucking in a dress shirt makes you look... You're out of touch.
Are you kidding me?
Which one of us is younger?
Who cares?
You're out of touch.
If I walked into for my job
to dress.com.
For my job, I'm talking to business owners. I don't want to walk in there like a ragamuffin.
Did you see me today in my work clothes?
No.
Did you see me yesterday in my work clothes?
No.
Why?
Why would I have?
True. You don't look like you look like I am young, and I have an opinion that is I don't need to be the same dress that they wore post World War II.
World War II. What?
Tucked in dress shirts been the thing for
I've seen both of you guys in your respective work outfits.
And I look better.
I have told
you look
both
more
of
professional.
you.
Doesn't mean you look better.
Exactly. I have told both of you that you looked really nice.
That's
you looked good.
I'm going for professional.
Tommy, you should be going for more professional than Jacob is. And Jacob, being younger, he also falls into different fashion categories where what he wears and what you wear perfectly applicable to your guys' jobs.
I disagree because I think looking more professional is only because we've stigmatized it to say that you look more what you're supposed to look. But what you're supposed to look like is only determined by the past, and what you're supposed to look like based on your personality and based on your goal in the business. I think that's a far more important thing, because if you are looking like you're supposed to look based on what older people and what past generations are saying, then you're only wearing what they want you to wear. I get to wear something that lets me do my job, and I get to both express myself and be more comfortable. I think I've tacked off all three.
All right, Jacob, I hear your point loud
Thank
and
you
clear.
for coming to the TED Talk of Jacob's fashion opinions.
Jacob,
I also wore flowers today. Do you get to wear flowers on your shirt?
Actually, I do. Jenny bought me a nice shirt with flowers.
And you tuck in your flowers into your pants.
Yes, with a nice pair of khaki pants. It goes really well.
Tommy, do you wear matching flower underwear?
No. Actually, normally I have some USA underwear on.
Mm-hmm.
Boxers or briefs for you guys?
Briefs. Joey doesn't wear underwear.
Joey's commando.
Yeah, you know who else
Robots in
might
disguise,
not
that's
wear
commando,
underwear
that's
is
Optimus
G.I.
Prime.
Joe.
Stefon Diggs. We
Stephon
talked
Diggs?
about him a little bit, and so the drama, it kind of continued. There had been some reporters that said that Diggs spoke to someone. There was no official report, but there was rumors kind of flying around that Diggs said he was unhappy with being a part of the offense. I know we talked about the Diggs drama. It seemed to kind of wrap itself up, but if that's true, that's not a great thing to hear as a Bills fan.
He's the number one target offensive weapon on one of the number one offenses in the NFL, with one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. If that's true and he's truly unhappy, I'm playing the prima donna card a little bit.
Yeah.
If it's not true, then fine. But if he's
Again, so unofficial.
how
That's
unhappy-
no official
No,
report.
I
It's
know.
not an ESPN.
Yeah,
It's not a.
no, I know.
You know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If
It's
it's
just
true,
word
I'm playing
on
the
the
prima
street.
donna card. But if it's, you know what I mean?
Well, part of from what I understand, which I read probably the same article you did, Joe. But from what I understand from it is that he was upset because he was talked to by the front office that, and I'm looking at this post right now, that he was talked to by the front office about having a lower salary this year because they were looking to expand the offensive, to go for another offensive weapon.
Saying that they restructured his contract, you mean?
Saying that the future, so in the next few years of contract, that he accepted a lower pay because they told him that they were going to use that money for another weapon, which apparently they told him who it was. There's rumors, I don't know, nothing's confirmed, but now that they're not on that, he's saying, I'm mad that I didn't get the money that you said we were going to put into the offense, and I am the offense. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm not defending him.
Offense.
I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that's what it looks like.
Any Star Wars fans out there?
You'd hate to think that's true, right? As a Bills fan, you'd hate to think that's true.
You don't want,
Yeah,
you
a
don't
You
little
want
bit,
the guy
but-
to you want the guy on the team that's like, I'm going to do my role to the best of the capabilities that I can and chip in any way I can, whether that means I get 5 touches a quarter or 5 for the game or 2 for the game. I don't know. So I just, talking to Bills right now can be a little bit quiet. Not too much going on in Buffalo land, and I think that's in the offseason, like we talked about a couple episodes ago, you hold on to the smallest little things when it comes to drama, especially because we're bored. We're looking for something to talk about. And Bills reporters are looking for the clicks. So, hopefully it's nothing. And, I'd love nothing more than to see Diggs just go on a record-breaking season right now, especially after all this and the Allen Diggs talk. I would love to see them hook up for a great year. So
Yeah, nothing really more in Bills land because, like we said already, I think we could have the conversations about next season and the positional battles, the previews of each position, what we expect from every guy. But that's coming down the line because if we did that now, then we'd have nothing to talk about as the season gets closer and closer and closer and the hype gets more and more and more. So that's what we're saving all that for. So as far as Bills talk goes, like concrete, I think Jakey's got another little game for us. And for those who might not have checked out our last episode, go back and give it a listen or go to our social media pages and check out this little draft that Jacob put together for us. It was really fun. We had a drafted team with $15 and they were different tiers. It was pretty cool, so check that out. But yeah, we're just going to be high and tight kind of with the Bills talk because there's not a whole lot going on. So I'll throw it. I just threw it for those who are just listening. Jacob caught it. He received.
And
he
before
cracked his
Jacob
knuckles.
talks, I definitely won that draft.
I think you did.
You didn't take Bruce Smith. All right, Jacob, what do you got?
Okay. Last year, the Bills' first game, who's it against?
Rams.
Well,
Yes.
did they win or lose?
They smoked them.
Like 34-17?
37-14.
Are you sure of both
What
of
a
those?
Jamal.
I know that they won against the Rams
That's
in
my
the opening
guess.
day.
Yeah.
But I
That's
don't know about the score.
In Los Angeles because defending Super Bowl
Yes,
champion Los
it was
Angeles
such a
Rams.
statement game, too.
Yeah.
Gave me a great
31-10.
Okay.
Oh, we were close.
I was closer.
I was closer.
No.
I said 34-17.
Check the change along.
Change.
I said 37-14.
Next game.
I was closer.
Next game, do you know who's against?
Second game.
Any thoughts?
They won it again.
They won again.
And it was against a good team again.
They won, and the score was 41-7. It was the
Jets.
Tennessee Titans.
I swear to God I was going to say Tennessee.
Then why didn't you?
You didn't.
Because I second-guessed myself.
Next game.
Believe in yourself, Tommy.
The next game,
They lost.
they lost.
in Miami.
Yeah, lost to the Dolphins.
The 1,000-degree
That was
game.
the Heat game.
yeah. All
The
right.
most, dude, can we didn't exist as a podcast. How stupid to have a stadium. That picture that they had with the entire Bills sideline just cooking in the heat
Yeah, it was
in the
ridiculous.
sun. Oh, my gosh.
It was dumb.
But we got
Terrible.
Miami back later in December in the absolute opposite weather, freezing cold. I was on my way to
What a
Christmas,
storybook.
that was
The snowballs, dude, that was so great.
Skipping ahead, do
Yeah,
you know
skip.
their next loss?
after Miami.
After Miami, they won 4 straight after Miami. Their next loss.
Minnesota?
It was not Minnesota.
That game was such a heartbreaker.
That was
Should've won
That
the
was such a
game.
funny ending.
That was a crazy game, an amazing game.
Yeah.
So before they lost to
Yeah,
Minnesota,
they lost 2 weeks in a row. Their only 2 losses for the rest of the season, back to back.
Yeah, I remember that. They lost to
If you're listening and you
Tampa
know,
Bay?
oh no, Pittsburgh. It was the Steelers.
no, it was not.
was that last year? Did they lose to Pittsburgh last
They
year?
didn't play.
No, it was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a division.
Oh,
It was the game that
Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. For the game
they
that
lost to the Jets last year.
yeah, they lost to them.
Yeah, they got shut down.
Oh,
They got
yeah.
shut down.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was only
You know what I'm
2017.
thinking of? Was it two?
Yeah, I mean,
Good year.
relatively.
Was it
Good
two?
year.
Was it 2 years ago that we lost to the Jaguars and it was like that was the end all be all? We lost to Jacksonville like 6-0.
Three, I think.
Like
that was the
6-3.
field goal game
Yeah,
or something
ridiculous.
like that. Yeah.
Then after that, they won all their games. I just thought that'd be kind of fun to see.
then-
For
Yeah,
them.
for sure.
Their next
I
loss. Do you know their
lost
next loss?
After the Jets.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the divisional
Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember the score?
of the Cincy game.
Yeah.
I think it was also like 34-10 or something like that.
Not
wasn't it?
quite. The Bills did have 10.
Yeah, 31.
27.
27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you said Josh Allen didn't look like he was on the field for a lot of that game, and that is so true, man.
Well,
Cincy shut.
I
us
mean,
down.
I remember watching the 3 of us watched it together. Was Joey not there? At least you and I, Tom.
No,
were
I was
together.
there.
Were you there?
Yeah.
We were what 2? I mean, not even through the second quarter, and we were just saying this is not the game this is not the team that we
Yeah,
watched the entire season.
It was
No.
hard to get a spark.
Yeah.
And you had to give
that
credit, and we did.
Cincy.
We had to give
Dude,
credit to Cincy.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
were making it look like we didn't have an O-line.
Yeah.
Really, Allen had no time the
yeah.
whole game. But we also said, for not the first time, that's our hole right now. If we've got Allen, and yes, the best quarterbacks need to adapt, but we saw a very real hole that to this day, we need to make sure
Yeah.
that's something that's better
And the
going into
best
next
teams,
year.
as we know in all 3 of these sports, the best teams in the playoffs find the hole and they exploit it, and that's who wins the championship. What I was about to say, Stanley Cup. 'cause I
The
was thinking-
best always find and fill the hole, Jacob.
I found and exploited a hole. And so let's talk about the Yanks. I won the championship.
Before we talk about the Yanks, are we going to talk about the Buffalo Sabres? And while you guys decide that, I think it might be
Already?
Oh goodness.
an early in the episode.
So he's got to go because we
Joey's
don't have a
gotta
better
go.
name still.
So
Well,
before I
Steven-
get back, you two lovely gentlemen talk about what team we're going to talk about next.
All right, it's time for Joey's Got to Go, presented by nobody.
Someday that'll be someone.
And Joey's got to pee.
Joey's going to pee.
For those who don't know yet, if you're the first time listener, Joey's going out to pee, and Jacob and I are going to talk about. Do you have a segment prepared?
Yeah, I was going to have you name more things, but we should decide. Are we going Bills or nope? Sabres or Yanks next? What do you think? 3, 2, 1.
Yanks.
Okay. The segment is you are going to name. Last time we did cheeses. You are going to name as many Mikes as you know. Mike/Michaels, real or fake?
Oh, people named Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael Girassi, brother.
I'm not checking them. So yes.
Oh, you don't have a list of
I
Michaels?
don't have a list of all the Michaels.
Michael Scott.
I knew. Pause. Sorry, I knew that's where you're going. Number 2.
Well, obviously,
Okay.
my favorite TV show of all time, The Office. Michael Scarn, alias of Michael Scott. Michael Corleone, Michael Keaton, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Michael.
I think you're at 7.
Michael.
It's not very good.
there are so many Michaels. Michael Myers, Michael Phelps, Michael Gerace, another cousin.
Tough to use Michael Gerasi and Dre. Both spelled the same, both related to us.
Myers, actor.
You already said him.
Nope.
Yep.
Oh, Michael Myers,
you meant
the Halloween character.
Yeah, okay.
Michael Myers,
That's Mike
the actor.
Myers, though.
Mike, what? I'm sure his full name is Michael.
No one says
Michael.
that. You're at 10. That's bad. That was bad.
Joey's back.
You missed one of the people you grew up with. You want to shout him out, Michael Magnuson, good cousin. Missed him.
My cousin, I missed.
Call out Mike Mags.
What did I miss?
Joey, name a person named Michael, real or fictional.
Mike Moser.
Oh, come on.
Shout out to Mike
Shout out.
Mimoser,
Shout out Mike
if you're
Mimoser. How you
listening.
doing,
You have
buddy?
a brother and cousin named Michael that you didn't
I
go to.
figured you guys had already said that.
Oh, no, yeah, he did.
And
Well, guess what his
the
number
one
2
that you
was?
forgot to is actually my godfather.
That's what Jacob just said.
Yeah.
All right,
And,
well.
I don't know if he'd listen. And, Mike, if you do, I love you so much. But he has not wished me a happy birthday in almost a decade.
Woof.
Mike, if you're out there, November 10th, give me a shout.
Call out. Call
That
them
was
out.
tough. That was
Call
tough.
them out.
Guess who Tommy's number 2 Mike was? He
Uh,
said our brother.
Michael Scott.
Yeah, Michael Scott. Then guess what his 3 was, which is ridiculous.
Michael Myers?
No, he said 2 Mike
I
Myers. though.
said Michael Scarn,
Michael Scott and Michael Scarn.
an alias of a fictional character.
That's
A
great.
character of a character. All right, well, while you were gone, Joe, we decided to move on to talk about the Yankees, okay?
Beautiful.
So, again, lots happening in Yankee Land right now. Literally right now, the Yankees are what?
I'm sorry, you missed Michael Jackson.
No, I said Michael Jackson.
You said Michael Jordan.
Nope, I said Jackson as well. Check change logs.
I don't think you did.
Check the game notes.
Check the tape, bro.
I really don't
Coach's
think you did.
challenge. It's good.
I don't
Calling the
think-
field
I
is
don't-
good.
I don't think you did.
I swear to God.
Okay.
So
Anyway.
New York Yankees.
So literally, there's a lot going on with the Yankees.
Yep.
Right now, they're in the middle of a game. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning. They're beating the Seattle Mariners 4-1, looking to win their first series since
Since a long
LA,
time.
right?
Since Judge.
And
Josh Donaldson just hit into
Ooh, what should have been a
almost
double
hit into
play.
another double play. Anyway,
That's got to be a topic we're going to get into, right?
Donaldson.
Along
I
with
got
a couple of other
into
guys.
hot. I got in hot with Donaldson last up a little bit, but actually, the big thing that we'll talk about really quick, and we'll give our hot takes and rapid reactions to it, is today. The Yankees' general managing partner Hal Steinbrenner,
AKA the shorthand would call him the owner.
Yes, the acting.
but it's way cooler to be the general managing partner.
Right, but he has control over the largest percentage of the team. He's the owner.
Big white daddy Warbucks, the controller of the most profitable sports franchise on the planet,
Not that, but close.
was interviewed on the Michael Kay show today. He got asked a lot of questions. They really actually asked him hard-hitting questions, and he gave answers that he's basically been giving for the last decade now.
He went straight robot.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he went robot.
However, I thought that there were a few nuggets in there that were kind of interesting. There were some fun questions, too, aside from the hard-hitting ones. So I've got some ones and that we'll go through. We're not going to go through the whole interview, but I want to ask your guys' opinions on them, too, and we'll get our takes on them. Sound good?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Okay. Here's one. One of the ones that he's been asked so much. Does the season, and he's answered this the same so many times, if the Yankees don't win the World Series, is the season considered a failure? Hal
I don't know which word you said there.
Hell.
Steinbrenner said, essentially, like he said before, that if the Yankees win the division, they win 100 games, they win a divisional series, right? They go to the ALCS, whatever. He's not going to immediately constitute that season a failure because they don't win the World Series. Now, I want to hear your guys' takes, your thoughts. My take is that while I mostly don't agree with that because the Yankees' motto is championship or bust, and maybe it's time to get away from that, I also partially see where Hal is coming from. Like, for example, very different, obviously, youth sports compared to MLB, the richest franchise of all time. If my hockey team, my varsity team, right, we go to the state finals, right, and we drop the state final game, is that season considered a failure in our eyes? No. We had a hell of a run. We had great games previous in the season. We saw growth. Obviously, very different comparatively. Mm-hmm. But I think that the point still stands is that it's not a failure, total failure of a season. There's positives to be had. But hear, in your guys' opinions, is it a failure of a season if the Yankees don't win a World Series every year?
I have a take. I don't want to get into something if you have something quick, because I have something that could be a bigger take. So I can get into it if unless you want to jump in right there.
I guess my quickest response, which I'm not good at, I think I might talk the most in our family out of the 7 of us.
Just most words spoken?
Just in general,
Like
the
if you put
biggest
up Microsoft
talker.
Word document and you just started talking and showed how many characters were
Just
going?
in the average day or when we're together. But on this,
Yeah, maybe.
so
Probably.
to compare them to the Sabres, what the Sabres did this last year, Buffalo Sabres, I would consider that a successful season. They went from a team that was significantly below 500, irrelevant in the scope of the league, to a team that was a day and one game out of making the playoffs. That's a win. The New York Yankees right now, with Aaron Judge, DJ LeMahieu, Josh Donaldson, Garrett Cole, Rodon, who hasn't pitched yet,
Ace.
they have these names in the payroll that they do. I hope I never have to see the Yankees truly rebuild, but they are not in a position right now that the Yankees should consider anything but a World Series run, at least.
Nothing
Short.
Right, and also
Of
that was actually
a
brought
failure.
up. That was also brought up
Yes.
as well, the rebuilding.
So,
anyway.
yes and no, I get it, but when you're at the top of the league over and over again, as they should be with the payroll and the players that they have, then yes, consider it a little bit of a bust, or at least, I don't know. And Jacob can probably... I could expand on it a lot more and say,
doesn't know.
trying to beat a dead horse and doing the same thing over and over
Why
again,
would you
and at
hurt a
what
horse?
point do you... Because it got sand in its eye.
Call back.
So, I don't know. I agree and disagree to some extent, but when you look at the Yankees roster, the guys they have,
Yeah.
it has to feel like a failure if they don't at least get further this year
All right,
than they
so
did last.
I'm going to build on that because I have two. It's a two-sided take. The first side is...
Do you ever have a one-sided take? You
No.
never call me on the phone and say, "Hey, I got something for you." You say, "I got a actually, I have 2 questions for you." Actually, it's like 2 questions and a comment.
Actually, do you have an hour?
Yeah. Our sister, one of our sisters, who lives in Rhode Island, and I won't talk on the phone, won't call each other or answer unless we have a scheduled time to talk. Because we have...
You rant and rave.
No, because we just have the most in-depth
Oh.
conversations that just... Everything just expands. So, no, I
More
never have
intellectual, Tommy,
Yeah.
that, we can't.
All right. So anyway, what's
I
your
never have one thought.
What's your two-sided take?
So, the first side is... Joey got into expectational, right?
Yeah.
This year in baseball, as we're going 2023, Cincinnati Reds are on a 10-game heater right now, 10-game winning streak. As far as I know, they might have lost last. I guess I didn't check last night. They were on a 10-game winning streak up to last night.
Could be 11, could be 0.
11. And no matter what happens, because of their expectation and because of what they were supposed to do, their season thus far has been a success.
Yep.
Now, the Houston Astros, LA Dodgers, New York Yankees, 3 teams, 3 of the top 4 or 5 going into the season projection-wise. All of them are third place in their division.
New York Mets.
Mets are even worse.
Yeah.
Mets are even worse.
you
Padres are even worse.
Yep.
So, expectationally, thus far, season's been a failure, right? So, expectation, that's one half. The other half, I think this is more important to me, is if your goal is to win the World Series, then anything else is definitionally a failure because you have not succeeded at your goal. Now, does that mean because you fail in the year at your goal, does that mean the season was a failure of a season? I think that's a different thing. I think you can say we failed at our goal, but our season wasn't a failure. I think it's weird.
I know what you mean.
That's 2 different things.
I know what you mean.
Now, in the Yankees case specifically, do you say that if they lose the ALCS in 5 games because they lost it in 4 games
It's
last year,
technically
it's better? I don't think so at all. I don't think so whatsoever. I don't even think that making the World Series is better than losing in the ALCS in terms of whether the season was a success or failure. Obviously, it's better for marketing. It's better because we haven't been there. But if you're marking failure or success, then, in my opinion, it's World Series out of the playoffs. That's kind of like that bridge. That's my take, is that you can fail at your main goal, not have a failure of a season, or you can say we failed at our season, but succeeded in all these different ways throughout the year.
I guess the Yankees have, because of their run in the 90s, right, in the early O's, and then even winning in 09. I mean, that wasn't that long after they had made their last World Series when they won in 09. That this championship or bust moniker that the Yankees have on their tagline has created this fandom, this belief that without a World Series, the Yankee season is a failure. That's where this next generation of Yankees fans have been led to believe a little bit. But if you think about it, the generation of Yankees fans that are growing up right now, Jacob, your age group, have never seen the Yankees win a World Series.
No, and we know the Yankees are the franchise. Myself, I don't remember.
Cap, man. It's the JC Cap thing. You know, it's the right. So anyway, that's a question Hal's been asked time and time again, and I see both sides of it in a way. I do, but he was also asked about how does it feel that you've got two teams ahead of you in the standings that combined have lesser payroll than you, spend less money combined, and they're doing better than you, and they're ahead of you. And Hal's answer was kind of like, it was kind of funny. He said, well, when you do bad enough for so many years in a row, 4 or 5 years in a row, you're going to get really good draft picks. And he's like, you're going to get really good draft picks,
that's true.
and then you're going to retool and everything like that. And I'm like, That is true, but those guys can never be retained. Their windows are so small. The Rays and the Orioles we're referring to. But meanwhile, the Yankees can go out and spend money on already established players, and so
which has not worked for them since.
I have been a true Yankees fan since I've been old enough to.
We don't have
the quote unquote buying a championship.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, they haven't signed a big free agent that has been. Well, CeCe was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Okay, so CeCe.
Sure. Burnett.
Well,
that 1 year.
But those were before. I'm saying since the World Series win in 2009.
Right, yeah.
We have not seen buying a player that's even helped get them to a deep run.
Not even to another World Series. Yankees haven't even been.
No, but those years from 10 to 16 when they were in and out of the playoffs, in and out of being a great team, whatever. They weren't buying players to be incredibly successful. Then they had
They tried, but none of them were right. Like you're saying,
it didn't pan out. And then we have the baby Bombers. We have the 2016-17 resurgence. And you start buying guys again in 18-19, and the guys that you bought are the only players right now that are lower than the expectation, are the guys that you've bought since 2018.
Yeah.
4 or 5 guys those are the guys who aren't performing. The guys who you brought up through the system.
Who'd we buy?
I mean, Stanton was a trade, but you're paying massive for
Donaldson
him.
was a trade.
Right, I'm not saying buy as in...
a hilarious one.
What I'm saying
you
is
just mean not homegrown.
The established names that you bring in to help hasn't worked for the Yankees in 12 years.
And you know what? I think the most excited and most fun I've had as a Yankees fan was it 3 seasons ago now, when their roster got so beaten up that they had kind of a minor league team
playing.
We're
talking 2019?
Actually, it was... Well, 19 and I think you're referring to 2021,
right? With Squid and Wade,
and Greg Allen,
full-blown small ball,
like
that was
full-blown chip and singer.
2019
singles,
was juice ball.
Yes.
Bunch of rookies come up and Gleyber Torres hits 38
Clint
home runs.
Frazier,
yes,
Sanchez,
that was a different kind of fun.
Yes,
it does get discouraging to know what, and very uncommonly do the Yankees do that, and even this season, very uncommonly right now. Do the Yankees steer away from winning games as the Bronx Bombers, or they lose games as the Bronx Bombers? Some hilarious stat lines about the Yankees and their strikeouts as a team compared to others. The Bronx Bombers strategy, the home run or bust type thing, it's really fun when it's going well, but it is really bad when it's going bad. And I don't know, it's kind of getting old.
Well,
I would love to see a team that has a higher batting average and lower home runs.
Yeah, but we do know that at the end of the day, and whether you like it or not,
home runs win.
World Series teams. What was the stat during last year's playoffs? ESPN threw up a graphic that said that, I can't remember the specific graphic. I wish I had it, but it was something along the lines of some percentage of teams win the World Series are in the top whatever of home run leaders, their teams every single year. So it was some crazy number, crazy high percentage of teams. If you can't hit home runs, you don't win a World Series.
Yep.
However, it's that combination of small ball, speed, defense,
pitching.
Of course, and your home run prowess, your power that brings you the ultimate
But tell me
title.
it doesn't get depressing to see 5 guys in your lineup night after night where you're looking for a home run or nothing.
Oh my God, it's depresso munjo, bro.
And so as a fan,
Dude, Donaldson depresses me every night.
Stanton could hit the ball literally out of almost every ballpark, and he could also swing and miss by 6 or 7 bat lengths
Stanton's
over.
Right.
Yes,
he hits the ball so freaking hard that he gets
he also
hits.
strikes out. It's depressing.
You know who's leading the Yankees in strikeouts right now? Volpe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but his approach has been that of big swing. It's I don't know.
Oh no, Yankees are blowing the lead right that they have right now. Also, to go on with what Hal was saying, like you talked about rebuild and stuff like that, because it sounds like we're kind of getting into like the main juice of this, which is championship kind of caliber Yankees, what we think they are, can they be, blah blah blah. Hal was asked also in this interview, would you ever consider a rebuild? Michael Kay said, look at the Braves, look at the Astros, look at the whatever. They tore it down. They took it, blah, blah, blah. They took it for 3-4 years, and they now look at them, right? And Hal very bluntly said no. I mean, he said no. He said, it's very clear that you can see with the resources that my family allocates every single year that I want to be in the playoffs every year. He said, I don't care. He said, because in my opinion, if you can make the playoffs, wild card or not, you got a shot. And he wants to be in the playoffs every single year. How much of that has to do with revenue, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I'm not sure, because later he was asked if, hypothetically, the Yankees missed the playoffs, right? Or third, fourth place finish, and they missed the playoffs, would there be jobs lost? Would there be questions? Would there be hot seats? And he said yes, essentially. He said, yeah. He said there would be some tough questions there. Yeah. So, and the Yankees just won. They won the game. They've beaten the Seattle Mariners by a score of 4-2. Final.
Tommy Tight Pants Canley with the save.
Tommy Tight Pants.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it was a great interview, and Michael Kay, dude, shout out to him. He is not afraid to say whatever is on his mind,
because he's kind of like he's untouchable as far as the Yankees.
Careful, I'm a K fan personally. Sometimes the show gets a little hard to listen to, but
maybe this one does too.
Buzzing. You guys, I don't know if you guys are familiar with how recently in the last 2 years how many Yankees fans are turning on Michael Kay.
Yeah, because he's gotten more and more aggressive. I think he's gotten more and more like he doesn't care. Like
I just want to give a shout out to, because how many people are going to ask the hard hitting questions when they have the opportunity to, and I don't know.
I'm in agreement. I'm just saying a lot of people right now are saying if it's not even that he doesn't ask the questions, it's that since people get upset that he gets paid by the Yankees, or he doesn't even get paid by the Yankees. They assume they make these connections.
Yeah,
that's not even true.
I get it. Yes Network.
Yeah. ESPN too for a show.
Our dad, who's also a big Yankees fan, the reason that we're all Yankees fans, really, our group chat for the Yankees, we're talking about Donaldson again. Just it seems like every day a conversation with Donaldson, and Dad goes, $20 million a year. Can you imagine how many families could love that for a year? Which is true. And then he goes, he should go to prison for stealing the money he makes.
He plays a good third base in that group chat.
He plays a good third base.
Oh yeah, you can't read off the entire group chat, or else we'd be canceled. But
it's hard to think, though. It is. He does play a good third, and
terrible.
It's crazy to see how gray his hair got in a year.
Terrible.
He looks so much older than he did last season. But it is hard to think of you're watching. Has been really rough for him at the plate this year since he's been back. It's hard to think that you see the price tag that he's on and think that good defense, to get a good defensive third baseman, look around the league, those who can't hit very well but play great third base, they're not making $20 million.
No, third basemen are supposed to be hitters in your lineup. Good ones. Really good ones. Historically, of course, yeah.
But that moves to another thing that Steinbrenner was asked was straight up about Donaldson.
Yeah,
he said he's our guy.
Yep. He said as of right now, most of the time he said he's our third baseman. He said he hasn't given further thought on Donaldson when asked about how much.
Bro?
He said Donaldson's gotten 500 at bats with the Yankees total so far since being a Yankee, dating back to when he joined the team. Right, this year he hasn't gotten that many at bats, but he's gotten over 500 at bats. And Cashman keeps saying that he needs more time to get to the pre-2022 Donaldson. How much more freaking time do you need?
Yeah.
How much can you take? How much can you take there, Brian? You gotta eat the
It's tough to watch. It is.
Eat.
Yeah.
Manja.
And it's been like last season, I think I have 1,000 bad memories of Donaldson. And besides his walk-off grand salami, I don't remember a lot
Also walked off the Red Sox opening day last year.
He did.
I don't have my bad
Lead
to
off
good
Donaldson.
vibes are 10-1 with him.
So anyway, Hal got asked some more questions.
Let's get into some of the
fun
lighter ones.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one more heavy one. He
Sure.
was asked about Boone and Cashman. Are they on the hot seat? And he said nobody's on the hot seat right now. He said, "Look, I think Boone is good at his job. I think Cashman's good at his job. Jury's out on that." Recently, I defended Brian Cashman for a long time. Look at his track record, but it is getting tougher to defend him. But anyway, yeah, some of the lighter questions he got asked.
Let's give our opinions.
Fun.
I think our opinions are
On
be
Boone
interesting
and
this.
Cashman?
No, on the fun ones.
Oh, the fun ones. I was going to say, we'll be here for another hour.
no,
We're
yeah,
talking
yeah. No,
about Cashman.
I was actively trying to move
Let's
away
get
from
Dad on the phone talking about Aaron Boone.
Oh,
We'd
be
have
here for
to
a
just
day.
have a
So funny.
we'd have to have one continuous censor beep out as well, though. So
Boone is a
Yeah.
Okay.
our
so-
uncle and dad don't like Boone very
They-
much.
You know what? They don't even.
They don't
that's
know-
not even that true. They just like to complain.
They
'cause
do.
They think it's fun.
They do. They
They
go.
think it's-
They
funny.
feed off of each other.
That's
so
funny.
The
much.
quote from our dad was, "I get Rodney riled up." He thinks it's the funniest thing. He's like a little kitten. He's like, "I get him riled up."
Yeah.
It is funny.
My dad's just sitting there with like the
Wait,
pen
the
or
best-
the
the
little
best-
laser pen. Just come
The
on.
best line for Dad that he calls Boone, though, it's not even the most explicit one.
By
but
far.
It's the funny one.
Yeah.
Is Boone hole.
Yep.
It means nothing. What does it mean?
I mean, well, he's such a Boone hole. I
Yeah.
mean, I just love it.
So
Anyway,
fun stuff. What
the
they
fun
talk
stuff.
about?
They asked one question he got asked was about the City Connect jerseys that a lot of teams are doing. I thought at first, Jacob and I were talking about this before we started recording, that we didn't know that they were if they were mandatory or not across MLB.
It seemed like the league said they were mandatory like 2 years ago.
So
I don't
they
know.
asked Hal because they were talking about the Red Sox ones a little bit, and they were like saying how hideous they were essentially. But he got
I kind
he
of
got asked he got asked if they would ever do a City Connect jersey, and he said no, that's not on their radar right now. He said that's not something I ever want to do.
Let's mix that with the facial hair policy.
Let's mix that. Well, yes, that and the fact that he said our players will never have names on the back of their jerseys. Period.
You know what? Okay.
That's
okay.
a sigh of relief.
So
Yeah.
I don't
It is
care
for
about
me.
that. I'm fine with that.
What a jamoke!
I'm a.
You're a jamoke.
I was agreeing with
He
you.
hasn't even gotten to his point yet.
I also was agreeing.
I
With
thought you said that you were against. You just said you were against Nate. You want no names on the back of the jersey.
I literally said I am
How-
fine with that.
Well, you're still a jamoke.
Okay. You're right.
Get a haircut.
I tried.
I tried.
Do you want my appointment?
No,
All
my
right.
scissors were just too dull. They didn't go through.
So Jacob, what do you think about no names on the back of the jerseys? Go. 30 seconds. One.
Nothing. I said what I was going to say.
Okay.
I said I
no,
agree.
And
finish
then you
your-
interrupted him, calling him a jamoke. He
Well,
was
he
trying to
is.
get to his point. Jacob, answer.
I have the floor. I would like to talk more about my shirt and tucked inness.
Jacob's got the talking pen.
Thank you. I have nothing to say about the names on the jerseys. I think that's fine. I was going to get into traditionalism with the City Connect / the facial hair.
Okay, go.
Because tradition and history with the jerseys, I think, is different because of the mantra of your name doesn't matter. It's about what's on the front. And you know what? I'm fine with that. And the jersey sales, from a business point of view, not having the names is a great thing for jersey sales because it's like an iconic thing. It's like part of the thing. And then if you want to have the name, then you buy another jersey and you get the name. So from a marketing point of view, not having names is genius. You could sell jerseys twice. Twice the jerseys if you want. Yeah. Oh, Joey's peeing again.
You have to pee again?
He made a face at me.
I've had a lot of coffee.
Oh my god!
All right, we got to do another segment, Tom.
Another Joey's got to go.
How many? I was in the middle of a thing. I have the floor when he gets back about
fine.
beards. We're talking Mike's last time. We should do Jim's. Jim? No, that's dumb. Joe's? No, that's dumb too.
Worse.
What's a good one?
Bruce.
No. Sure, Bruce.
Bruce Smith.
Okay.
Bruce Willis.
Okay.
Bruce Banner.
3.
Bruce Wayne.
4.
Bruce Jenner.
5.
Bruce Almighty. Bruce. Bruce.
You picked Bruce and you're at 6. Bro.
Bruce.
Star Gratterall.
Bruce. Brucey.
This fell flat. I'm sorry for those listening.
Bruce.
Tommy just bombed that.
Jeez.
All right, name as many colors as you can. Go.
Red, purple, green, yellow, orange, red.
Fail
White.
of the rainbow.
White, black, purple, blue, green, red,
No.
white,
Get off the rainbow,
orange, yellow, violet, Beauregard, Crayola, burgundy.
bro. Joey, Tommy has biffed this section. He has botched it like a botched toe.
Oh, botched that one.
Botched
I
it.
botched that
Botched
one.
job.
Ooh, that's a botched job.
He biffed this. He
Shout
was
out
trying to
Danny
name
DeVito.
Bruce's, and he named 6, and then he named colors, and he named 6.
6 colors.
No, I named way more than
Tommy,
6 colors.
you named the rainbow and white.
I wasn't thinking. All right,
Burgundy,
so,
chartreuse.
Shut up.
Cornfield.
Nobody cares.
Cornfield's a color,
Hey,
bro.
hey, you know what? You guys know something? You want to know something? I got one more question for you about the Yanks, and then we need to still talk about the Buffalo Sabres.
I was in the middle of my thing, but sure.
I'm sorry, dude. I had to
No,
go.
that's what I said. We need to still talk about the
Yeah,
Yanks.
yeah.
to
Joey's
finish
got
it
to
up.
go, and Joey's
Okay.
got to go.
All right, so go ahead. Finish your
What was
thought.
your question?
Well, you don't want to finish your thought on the facial hair?
Well, I was going to get everyone's opinion on it.
Okay, go.
I think that the facial hair thing is difficult because if it was up to me, there would still be a rule, which is stupid because I think if you're going to have a rule, it has to be no facial hair. But if it was totally up to me, it would be you can have facial hair, including beard and stuff, but it has to be kept and measured at a certain length. Which I think is more dumb. I
Which is-
acknowledge
yeah.
that's more stupid.
They're walking into the dugout, and there's a guy
They're
with a tape
pulling
measure,
the
like,
I'm not-
beard hair. They're like
listen,
half inch.
2 inches.
I'm not
off.
arguing for it. I'm just saying if
Yeah.
it was up to me, that's what it would be.
How about,
See,
how about
I-
leg hair?
I'll give you my.
on City Connect, I'm
pro,
big
Tom.
City Connectors.
I'm
Get
a
over it.
pro
Make the
leg hair
jerseys.
too.
I'm
so,
big pro leg hair guy.
Yeah, we
Joe,
know.
what do you
We're a
think?
pretty
I
hairy
think
family.
that
Actually, you guys are
two
actually
takes.
not.
One
You're- I'm
take
not saying
is
you.
I think it's super professional. I get it's what they've done and it's what they want to stick to. I get it. I, as a Yankees fan, love it. I think I see some of these just borderline, like homeless looking guys come up to. Look at Marsh. Marsh comes up to the plate with his beard, his
That's
hair
his
is
look.
everywhere.
He's a Boston
looks
scumbag
like a
look. It's perfect, but
caveman.
he's in Philly.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
he's
Philly,
a Philly
Boston,
scumbag.
same thing.
But
Well, they're all-
at
that's
the
East
same
Coast.
time,
Flyers,
we
Bruins,
we
Patriots,
live in a
Red Sox, they're
world
all-
where,
they're all scumbags.
currently, we live in a world where in New York State, prisoners in prison are now able to grow out hair and beards because of we can't infringe upon their right to let their body be
Express
their body.
themselves, yeah.
So,
So-
you're saying the Yankees should be able to grow out scumbag hair?
As a Yankees fan, I like the cleanliness, the tight shaven professionalism, but that's not what it is anymore. You look at business people, dude, and business people have beards and
socially, I'm
man
totally out
buns,
on it.
and so
yeah, but you know what? And
I don't
here's
care.
what-
I really, honestly, my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't care.
you know what I don't care about?
Your opinion.
Hal, you know what Hal said? He said, and I actually kind of agree with this point. He goes, he said, look, we never get any complaints about it. He said players come over and they think it's kind of like a cool thing that they're on the Yankees. They have to shave their beard. They have to cut their hair. He said it's almost like not a rite of passage, but it's like if you're going to play for the New York Yankees, this is just the thing. I kind of like that allure. Of
Can
it.
we talk about how funny it was when Cole, I almost forget.
Oh, the wagging the finger?
Cole when he came to the Yankees.
Well, I was gonna say,
almost forget what he looked
he
like.
was
so
before
much better
he was a
looking.
Yankee.
Rodon looked nothing like
Well,
Hal.
Rodon-
Before the Muzzy. Now he's got the Muzzy.
Yeah,
So
but
you
Rodon
have
and
to-
Cole look like male models with beards.
Yeah.
Now they look like toes.
Yep. As soon
Toes.
as
Toes?
Cole
Yeah.
shaved, he's like, okay, yep, he's the dad. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a
You
toe.
never know how many
Video.
fat chins are out there until they get traded to the Yankees. Rodon, man, you never knew.
Actually,
I'm like, what do you?
I was Jenny and I were at our cousins who are in town. Our cousin Vinny and his boyfriend. And we went to hang out with them the
Not
other
the
night.
movie, My Cousin Vinny.
If I had a nickel, bro.
No, down.
Anyway,
He's also-
and
What if you had a dime?
this conversation actually came up about my beard specifically. We were trying to do as many Snapchat filters as humanly possible about what I would look like without a beard. Mm-hmm. None of them were good. I mean, the filters, they add a face on your face essentially. So
That could have been helpful.
I could have silenced the lambs it, but anyway,
It's a little funny.
a little messed up. Anyway, we had that exact conversation. But all right, before we
Tommy, you look better with a beard, buddy. I've known you your whole life.
I-
You look.
I
better.
think
For
you're
those-
perfectly
if
handsome. with that one.
Tommy, if Tommy signed with the Yankees, we would all go like this. Thumbs down.
Jenny's told me that she's gonna leave me.
I think you're acceptably handsome, acceptably handsome without a beard.
I have not been clean shaven since I was...
Acceptably?
What's the word?
Acceptably?
No, not that.
You added a
I
bull.
was trying to say a different word.
I haven't been clean shaven since I was 18.
So, Yanks talk,
last-
real quick, though, I think City Connect would be cool.
Get
why not?
over it.
Why
Make
not?
the jersey.
Yes,
All right, here's
that'd be
the
cool.
last question. Yes or no, because we're going to move on to the Sabres, okay?
No, I don't think we should.
Yes or no answer. We could go, this is not an easy question to answer,
Okay.
yes or no. And I know the answer to all that we're all going to say.
Yep.
Worthwhile question.
Let's do it on 3 after you do it, too.
When fully healthy, okay, completely healthy, the A+ lineup is out on the field. Under the assumption, don't say a word, under the assumption that not all players are clicking at their max potential, because that would be the absolute all-star team of the century, that players are going to be, some are going to be hot, some are going to be middling, some might be a little cold, but completely healthy, are the New York Yankees, as constructed right now, capable of winning the World Series?
Before we say yes or no on 3, are you
Before
talking
we
about
say yes or no?
banged up, healthy? Like if DJ's fighting through
Bro,
something
I literally
right now?
just said fully
Well,
healthy.
I know you mean full roster
No.
healthy, but like everyone,
There is
Masters doesn't have a sore, tired.
There's nobody on the IL. Everybody's rocking and rolling, but health-wise. But
All right.
there's some players
Answer
that are
on
hot,
3.
some middling, some cold.
I'll answer on 3 and then I'll talk more about it.
No, because we don't have time.
Quickly.
Okay, 1,
What's
2, 3. No.
Yes. If they played the World Series 100 times, if they went into the playoffs 100 times with a perfectly healthy roster, they would win the World Series more than 0 times.
It's Carlos Rodon truly the. It's not the pitching right now. It's the offense.
It makes a difference, but-
because baseball is baseball, Susan, if the Yankees last year
Our space balls.
went into the playoffs 100
Oh.
times, they would have won the World Series more than 0 times.
Yeah, and who knows?
So yes,
you know,
they're capable of it.
Who
Will it
knows
happen?
what a
Probably
healthy
not.
Benintendi in the
Capable.
lineup would
Okay.
have done? Who knows?
Oh, the
what-
Oakland Athletics are capable of winning the
No,
World
they're not,
Series.
because they will not win 4 out of 7 games.
All right, I get your point.
We will talk about this more, but
Especially as Rodon starts ramping up.
Yanks
Coming
win the
back,
last
and
2 games?
Judge, obviously.
so
Yeah,
drop
Yanks
a
are-
series to the drop a sweep to the
To,
Red Sox, but now
2-0.
2 games on
Yeah,
Seattle.
sweep the M's.
So,
Just sweep them.
Yep, we need it.
All right, so Yankees talk. We're going to curb that. Do we have any quick fun time Yankees to transition us?
I was gonna, but I mean, I'll ask you one.
Okay,
thing.
ready? Jacob,
Yeah.
look this up. Joey and I will try to answer.
That's
Or no,
fine.
I'll look it up, and you guys try to answer,
No,
okay?
I'm the quiz guy.
Look up who is
Who is
10th all-time Yankees in RBI. Joey?
I mean,
10th all-time.
Let's see if you guys will get it. You will. Do I accept the cookies?
always accept the cookies, Jake.
I'm going to go with...
You could get it.
Doc October.
No, dude, he wasn't even a Yankee that long. I'm going to go with the Yankees.
I'm gonna go Mark Teixeira.
Man, you love to share. You've answered him for every
Teixeira, man.
trivia
No,
question.
not Tex.
Him and Andy.
I'm going to
Pettitte.
go with Bernie Williams.
No, he's 7th.
Nerd.
Holy
7,
crap.
6,
Paul O'Neill.
Where's Doc Ock?
3, 2, 1. Doc Ock is in New York,
New York City fighting.
He has
Spider-Man.
the power of the sun in the palm of his hand.
Yes, he does.
Number 10 all time is 80s Yankee.
Oh.
The 80s Yankee.
Thurman Munson.
No, he was 70s. Well, he was 70s, but more 80s.
Kind of.
This guy's like 80s.
Mattingly.
80s. Yeah, Mattingly.
Well, Mattingly was actually, he was 90s too.
Yeah, but when you think of the bad
He was
80s,
80s.
the 80s Yankees, he was
Okay,
the only good
Mattingly.
player.
It was
Who's
on my
number
radar.
1? Do you?
As a Yankee?
Yeah, of all time.
Cheater.
No. He's 6.
It's Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not.
Yogi.
Okay, then it's Mantle.
No.
Gehrig.
Yeah, Gehrig.
Oh.
I would just start naming off the
But
greats,
you would
man.
think Ruth before
Just because
Gehrig.
of the 714 home runs.
He had one. Let me count. I had 20,
Oh my God. we need to
18
move
more
on.
RBI.
We need to move on.
Well, that wraps off the Yank talk for today,
Man,
and
Yankees, we could do the whole Yankees
I know we
section.
can,
But
but they're in the season right now. There's so
Yeah,
much to
we'll
talk
have
about.
more to talk
now,
about. Yeah.
let's
Moving on,
DiMaggio had more than Mantle. All right,
from
Sabres.
the field to the ice and that
Buffalo
is
Sabres.
nice.
Couple of news, I guess.
Let's
Couple of
fire
things to
through
talk
them really
about.
quick.
Yeah. So one, I think the biggest one, Sabres lock up the longest tenured current Buffalo Sabre in Zemgus Girgensons. So, congrats, Zemgus.
He's been through
the ringer, man.
He's been through the dark times.
Yeah. Girgensons must feel like a Rocky punching bag after.
Zemgus Girgensons has literally suffered through 2 rebuilds. And
they're like, wait a second.
Still hasn't made
wait
the
a second.
playoffs.
I know that took 3 years, but it didn't work, so
around.
we're going to wipe it again.
1 year, $2.5 million.
Yep.
Okay.
Thoughts, real quick, Tom?
Yes.
Contract money, thoughts? I think it's fine.
It's good. So
It is good. It's a good fourth liner salary. He
when-
had a decent year.
But it could have been 1.7, and we wouldn't have said it's too low.
No,
we
but if it was
talked-
3.2, I would have been like, wait a second.
Yeah.
That's
However, Zemgus Girgensons at this point, we talked an episode or 2 ago about the Sabres' defensive needs and how they can also get defense from up front, right? Girgensons, according to his stat card, he's not being brought back to score goals necessarily. Can he? Absolutely. Can he chip in double-digit goals? Can he pop 10 goals? Sure.
Yep.
You know, he's being brought back for though is in his own zone.
Yep.
And for his bulldog, the Latvian locomotive, baby, he's in here to forecheck, to hang on to pucks, to block shots, to penalty kill a little bit,
to lead a still very young group of guys.
even though he's not even 30 years old.
Yeah, no, but he's been through the ringer. You got to think he has grown a lot.
Can I put something out there really quick? I'm not going to get deep into this because I want to get deep into it in a later episode. But there is a very, very cool, informative way to look at how a player impacts their team in multiple different facets using the stat called WAR, which is wins above replacement, which Jacob originated in baseball. Yes, wins above replacement. WAR did, I'm pretty sure.
I would imagine. I will fact check that.
Anyway,
I know it's used in baseball for longer than other sports, but I don't know if it started there.
So shout out this guy who does this in conjunction with a bunch of other hockey people on the internet. His name is Jay Fresh, and he compiles these player cards that show a player's WAR in percentile ranks across to their peers in the league. And what WAR is, wins above replacement. Sorry, really quick. The very, very easy way to put it is how many wins these analytics project that this player helps give his team. So, for example,
over the average replacement
level player,
which is
right,
technically the average player,
a seventh defenseman, a 13th forward, right,
but not a bad player.
No,
an average,
statistically
player.
average player.
So the example is, for example, let's say that I've got a good one right here. Let's say that Connor McDavid has an 8 WAR, right?
Decent.
Let's just say Connor McDavid has an 8 WAR, okay? And the Oilers finished with 94 points, right? This model is suggesting that if they had cut McDavid and played a replacement level player instead, they would have finished with 78 points.
Replace him with someone who has 0 WAR. Means average.
Right.
Yes.
That means 8 wins would have been taken away from Edmonton because
with
McDavid
an average player.
wasn't in.
Got it.
So
just to touch on how crazy that is,
Sure.
in baseball, which you have double the games, people don't get that much WAR, which means that he's
What
worth.
was Shohei's last year?
Like some players get like 8, 9, 10, but
disgusting.
like only like 2 players.
So
get that.
anyway, this guy Jay Fresh compiles these WAR projections in different statistical categories in percentile rank, right? So 100th percentile would be at the very, very top of the class,
McDavid.
right? Correct. So there's all these different ones. So I'm going to get into this more later, but that was just my 2-minute introduction to this. We're going to go into it another time.
What's Girgensons?
Girgensons. So here's the
whole
thing.
thing.
So there's even strength offense, even strength defense, power play, penalty kill, finishing, goals per 60, assists per 60, penalties, which is how many he takes compared to draws, and the level of competition that he faces, and the level quality of teammates that he's playing with, right? Mm-hmm. So and it compiles into one big stat. So Girgensons' projected WAR percentage is 60th percentile, which is good. It's in the blue. It's in the light shade of blue, which is pretty good. However, if you look at the other individual ones, his even strength offense percentile WAR is only 36%, which means even strength stat is projected even strength offense WAR, meaning a wins a player provides to his team through his isolated impact on scoring chances, expected goals for when he's on the ice at even strength. Okay, that means how much does Girgensons contribute in the offensive zone in expected goal scoring opportunities, right? 36%. Defensive zone, on goal, the same stat, but goals against, 98%.
Percentile.
98 percentile.
So basically saying if you lined up 100 random NHL players, Girgensons going to be the top 3, 98, 99, 100 best at defensive war.
We'll call it like that. Yeah, that's
a way to look at it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Does he have an actual number, like a war number?
A D-war number?
So this is all in percentile rank.
Okay.
So he doesn't have a hard number.
The hard number, no, because there's no hard number because the percentile rank takes into account all of the shot quality. And it's an easier way to read it. So
sure, but you got 8 for McDavid.
It was an example. No, McDavid. Connor McDavid. I do not know if he had an 8 WAR last year. It was an example. I said McDavid had an 8 WAR.
Got it.
Okay, but
Understood.
I can show you.
Well,
his projected WAR percentage is 100%.
I will.
Right. I wonder what that would be.
I will say
anyway
on Girgensons
point
quickly.
Is Girgensons was signed back for that reason.
Yeah.
It took me 5 minutes to explain why Girgensons was back, but it was worth it.
He is what the Sabres are going to hopefully be this next year and be a playoff team. He's the kind of guy that you need on your team if you're going to succeed in playoffs. He is. He blocks shots. He hits. He plays both ends. He's incredible. So I'm very glad that the Sabres got him back. And he's still young. He's been with us a long time. Mm-hmm. He's not like he's just mid to late 30s. So 2.5 for him. Sabres also, signed back. Signed Lucas. Rousek. I think during the when he was playing for the Sabres, he was. I think it was Rousek is how they pronounce it. I've never talked to him and asked how he wanted it.
Pronunciation on hockey reference is Rousek.
Okay,
R-O-O.
If we ever chat, I'll ask him for sure. But they signed him back for a 2-year. $775,000. That's the league minimum. Is what they got him for, and we saw him in the NHL.
Yeah,
and
popped his.
We talked about him a couple episodes. First NHL shift, he scored his first goal. It's pretty cool. So as a Sabres fan, unless you watch the Amerks, you probably haven't seen him play too much. But the Sabres think that he could be a potential NHL player this next season. Mm-hmm. So,
question for you, Tom.
Yeah.
This is me not knowing the answer to this. Is it normal for the league minimum opening contract to be league minimum for 2 years? Is that normal? Because I would have assumed it was league minimum for the first year and then something more for the second year.
Not necessarily. So league minimum this now is $775,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Entry level contracts actually typically go not for league minimum. They go for like $925K.
Right. So I was kind of curious to see league minimum for 2 years. I thought that was low.
No, not for somebody who's played 2 NHL games.
Yeah.
Sure.
And might not
age.
have this assessed value from other franchises.
Right, but I was thinking it would
him...
have been league minimum for 1 year. Because, why would he agree to minimum for 2 years? He could score 27
Well, that's what I'm saying
goals.
is maybe,
he's not going to.
Security.
Yes.
I mean, at his age, he could be picked up in the AHL and have a minor league career, but job security to make $775,000.
He could and he couldn't
years.
because maybe something we talk about if we get bored in Sabres land is the AHL's new rules for veterans.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So AHL players the AHL will become more of a developmental league for the NHL. So players do want security not only in NHL rosters, but they want AHL security too because it is changing a bit. So I think that's maybe why he was okay to take the 2 years instead of the 1.
Yeah.
And who knows? If he turns out to be great, Sabres got him on a league minimum for 2 years. We'll see.
Right, and that's the two sides of it. Is
Jakey two sides over here.
always two sides.
Jakey two sides.
Two sides.
So yeah, the Girgensons thing. Say that 5 times.
Girgensons thing.
No, I don't want to say it or think about it.
The Girgensons thing is interesting because again we talked about the Sabres' need for that bottom 6 forward core. And as we get into our off-season preview, which is going to be coming up in an episode here pretty soon, we're going to dive more into that and what the Sabres are going to be looking for up front, what they could look for, what they might need. Is there an influx right now of wingers? Is the forward group as a line right now to basically run it back? Is it going to be good enough?
Right, and we can definitely
and we're going to dive into that later. But
my one-word answer is it's close. It's close. It's not the thing that they're like It's not one word answer. That's my answer. It's close. I don't think the answer
Their
is yes, but I
offense,
do think
you
it's
mean
close.
to being the team that they need to be, the offense?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's close. It's definitely close.
I don't think they're anything close to what they were a few years ago where it was way off. I think they're approaching it.
Yeah. You've got guys contributing at very large scales and a lot of guys chipping in and filling in those gaps that they haven't had before. So,
again, I don't want to get into it right now because we're actually going to be it's going to be a whole thing, a whole segment with the Sabres is going to be the projection.
It's hard to get into it a little
preview.
because we're going to get into it.
I know,
full-time.
because you start talking about, well, the Olofsson's on the block, and that's going to free up a forward spot, but is that going to be taken by Yuri Kulich? Is that going to be, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Because right now, even like looking at the top six, it's Thompson, Tuck, Skinner, Cousins, Quinn, Peterka, right? And
Mittelstadt.
That's a conversation that we're not going to get into right now.
Yeah.
Are the Sabres, here's a hot take, are the Sabres better off while Mittelstadt is actually kind of up right now in his playmaking ability? And I'm not even going to... Would they be better off moving him for another quality player, knowing that somebody like Matthew Savoy, who's got the same type of game that Mittelstadt does, small, playmaking, skill... Do they envision him taking Mittelstadt's spot right now? Because how is Mittelstadt's value going to get higher? Maybe. But
Savoy's a lot smaller than Mittelstadt.
It's
just
hard.
throw it out there.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's not a power forward by
It's hard to. It's like the Torres. It's like the Torres talk with the Yankees.
Yeah.
In my opinion, is Mittelstadt and Olofsson can't both go. That's too many points.
Yes.
Too many points to replace.
Yeah.
One or the other, maybe. It's too many points if they both go.
I think that with his age in play, Mittelstadt's still very young, and respect to the league and players' development, and we see McDavid growing, and still went from the best player in the world to even the more significantly best player in the world. Mittelstadt looked really good. And his stats, we've talked about him before. If you haven't, check out that episode because it's surprising how the most offensive, 5-on-5 from the second half of the season.
Something like that, yeah.
Incredible.
He created so many assists.
Yeah.
So many.
Behind
Mittelstadt?
behind McDavid and McKinnon.
Yeah, I can't remember what the
Mittelstadt
stat
was impressive, and he passed the eye test,
Actually,
which sometimes in hockey, your stats might be completely different than what the eye test tells you. And Mittelstadt passed the eye test. So
I don't think it's justified to say it's time to move on.
Not
or
at
not
all.
even time.
No.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. But
Until
I get
you
where
can
you're
know you
coming
get
from,
those
Tom.
points back.
If you have a guy that just came off a season like that, the talk on him is high, and the value might be potentially highest it ever will be. But you also got to think, if you want this team that's been building and growing and coming together as a core, Mittelstadt's right in the middle. No pun intended.
If he's the best he ever will be, wouldn't you want him on your team?
Yeah, there's that. Or if he just gave you a flair that we might not see again next year, and he's now valued very low around the league, and you missed your chance, it's a hard topic.
He looked good. He really did.
He looked very good.
I want to...
Some great passes, superstar.
Like he was seeing the ice at like a veteran
Elite.
professional level. Yeah.
Elite, yeah.
Yeah.
But the question is, though, I get everything you're saying about Mittelstadt, but in the spirit of the Yankees, the Sabres may be looking for that more experience. Like, if we could take Mittelstadt's playmaking ability, right, and his offensive upside, and transfer that and get that same quality player, but on the defensive side of the puck, would you make that deal?
At some point, you're losing too many goals.
Yep.
I know we said
true.
defense wins championships.
It does.
Agreed.
So-
But at some point, you're sacrificing too much offense.
And you have to think the Sabres' defensive issues aren't going to be solved like that. And even if they make moves and they draft or players play better, they're still going to need, and we have young goalies who are unproven fully.
You need the 5-6
You're going
goals a
to
game.
need
Yeah.
the high goals scored,
Yeah.
regardless if the defense increases. We still need that.
So the stat you were referring to, Joey, real quick before we wrap things up on Mittelstadt, actually came from the same guy, Jay Fresh, right? Yeah. And the question was top 10 primary assists per 60 minutes at 5-on-5, minimum 1,000 minutes played this last season, okay? And it was Nathan McKinnon, Mitch Marner, Leon Draisaitl, Casey Mittelstadt.
Decent
Pretty
company.
98th percentile in primary assists per 60.
Yep.
Yeah. So
And if you think that the Sabres are moving in the right direction and Mittelstadt can continue to grow and develop with the team, he could be a franchise center for the Sabres.
when he was taken in the draft, they
That's what they
envisioned
thought,
him
yeah.
being a number one center.
His
And
little brother looks pretty darn good, too.
he never flourished, but
Yeah.
the rest of Mittelstadt's stat card doesn't look super pretty on the defensive side of the puck, even though I should have also said this, these stat card things, which again, I'll get in way deeper down the line, they are based on a weighted 3 year over 3 years, not just 1 year. So it's not just right, because otherwise you might get Jonathan Cheechoo from 2006 who scored 52 goals and his weighted WAR is off the charts just by 1 year, but over 3 years, how good is this guy over 3 years? Anyway, so those player cards are really cool, and I can't wait to get into them more and tell people so we have that stat. But anyway,
good news, I guess. I mean, since we last talked, Buffalo Sabres like it. I like Girgensons. Good 2 signings.
And why not run it back a little bit? Because at the end of the day, we did miss the playoffs by 1 point. Everybody's going to be. You hope everybody's a little bit more
and the team
older.
that was 1 point ahead was the Florida
just
Panthers.
lost.
Right. Everybody's a little bit older, more experienced. They played in some of those tight games a little bit. So with the right additions, I think so.
Crazy to think that without one of their 2 big slumps, that's the playoff team.
Yeah, it wasn't that game in Florida that killed us, guys. It was our 9 game losing streak in November. 7
And
game
it was
losing streak that killed
it was
us.
our 13 out of 16 lumped.
Yeah, and it was dropping the extra point to the Capitals and blowing that lead and dropping the
You
extra
can
point to
point
the
it
Rangers.
at 100
Of
games,
course.
but the teams that make playoffs, I don't know this for a fact, but I doubt the Panthers went on like an 8-game losing streak and or 12 out of 16. It's just tough.
So
yeah.
Anyway,
Let's
Jake, do you have a closing point with the Sabres? Because I wanted to just wrap up the Sabres.
Yeah,
I was going to do game.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's what we're with the Sabres. We thought about doing draft preview tonight and then a couple of off-season preview episodes, but we decided against that because we knew we had a little bit more Yanks talk tonight. Mm-hmm. So we are going to do a draft preview for the Sabres in our next step on Sunday, and then a week from today, next Wednesday, which is actually the night of round 1, which we'll be recording probably during that, we will do a off-season preview because free agency starts that next Saturday. Mm-hmm. So that's the game plan with the Sabres talk.
Yeah,
so
draft then free agents.
Draft then off-season in general, but free agency and trade
and then
mostly.
probably back to the draft.
Because trades open up, our trades are already opened up, but they're really going to open up during the draft.
Yeah,
so,
you like to see.
All right, Jake,
Well,
close us out. Bring us out. What we got?
I am going to give you 2 options. Do you want to try to name... There's a thing called point sharing in hockey.
Okay.
It's kind of like war. It's how many points did your team... These not points as in goals, assists, but like win-loss points in your team.
Sure.
How many points did your team get because of you?
Yeah, that's kind of like war.
Kind of like war.
Yeah.
So do you want to try to name the top Sabres points in that point sharing, it's called, of all time? Or do you want to try to name a historical, doesn't have to be a long time ago, maybe like early 2000s, mid 2000s, Yankee Sabres roster, so many guys on the roster you could name?
I'd probably be...
Let's do the war thing.
Okay.
Tommy was going to say the exact opposite.
I know, I was, because
the reason I'm saying this is because Tommy's knowledge of Sabres teams is...
I know, I kind of want to see it. Well, we can do the point sharing.
Let's do it. All right, so say it one more time where it's
basically
what
Hockey References top 12 Sabres of all time.
Contributing to wins.
Based on
essentially
how much they helped the team win.
Is this including goalies?
It does include goalies, yeah.
Okay.
Dominic
Hasek.
Yes, number one. With
Dominic
116 point shares.
Dominic Hasek,
Every year.
the Buffalo Sabres would not have been anything in the 90s without Hasek. Nothing.
116, that estimates that he has over a full season of wins.
That's exactly
only
what
on him. That's amazing.
Okay.
Is there another goalie on the list?
There are at least, I'm not saying if there's more than one. But
I know.
at least one more.
I know a couple goalies are going to be on the list for sure. But okay.
Phil Housley.
He's not number 2.
Phil, are you going in order?
Oh no, I'm just guessing. I'm not orders.
Well, who do you think number 2 is?
I know who number 2 is.
Are you looking it up?
No, I swear to God.
Why
you
did
just
you
looked
use
at
your
your computer and then smirked and said, "I know who number 2 is."
No,
So I thought,
no, I have
I
have a great
If we were in
idea
a
of number
court of
2.
law, that would be.
yeah,
Joubert Pro.
Pro number 2. Number 3 might shock you. Click here to find out.
Darian Pupa.
No,
It's Darren.
Darren. Yeah, it wasn't Darren.
What did I say?
Don't do that.
What did I say? Tom?
This is the thing, Joey.
You said poop.
What did you say?
A tough last name, Poopa.
What did I say?
Number
hey,
3,
Darren
who do
is
you
a
think it
Poopa.
is?
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Alexander Mogilny. Final answer.
Snubbed from another Hall of Fame.
Mogilny not in the top 12.
Yeah, wasn't a Sabre long enough. This is just for the Sabres.
Maxi Finneganoff.
No.
Joey, why
Yeah, that was
would you
ridiculous.
think that?
love him.
That doesn't
All right,
matter.
fine.
That hurt.
Ryan Miller.
Ryan Miller, number 3.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Number
also
4.
stole games. Number 4. What did you?
Phil Housley.
Phil House.
Finneganoff. I thought it was Finneganoff. Maximum Finneganoff.
Number 5, you need to go back to the beginning times.
Dan Aguirre.
Not that beginning. What? No, more beginning than that. Like beginning of Sabres times.
Yeah. Uwe Krupp. He was the 80s, I think.
No, I'm talking like. Yeah, it might be 80s as well.
I mean, Rene Robert.
No, not that old.
Give
The
this
other-
one to
Rick
us.
Martin.
This is Rick Martin.
Next. Rick Martin.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just said it. Okay. Next is early, Bill Height.
Okay.
Hate or Height?
TBD.
Next one you know.
Give me a next one I know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Big Muzzy.
Who is
Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Ramsey. Then you've got a guy who is not necessarily known as this. Well, he isn't known as a Sabre, but he was a big Sabre. But he was also big other things.
Who is Anderchuk?
Who is Dave Anderchuk?
I
Next.
said
I scored
it
points.
first,
You-
actually.
it's
He
Jeopardy
said
style.
who is. Don Edwards. at
Show
9.
me Anderchuk.
Would you have
Really?
gotten Edwards?
No, I wouldn't have guessed.
All right.
Edwards.
Jacob. Show me.
Show me. Don't say show me.
Don't show me. There's one thing that you're not supposed to say right now, and it's show me.
Show me.
All right,
Anderchuk.
10, 11,
Big
12.
Sunny guys.
10, 11, 12 are all guys
10,
that
11.
we watched growing
Danny
up.
Briere.
No.
Chris Shuri.
Marty Baron.
No.
Alexei Zhitnik.
No.
Brian Campbell.
No.
Jason Pominville.
Thomas Vanek.
Thomas Vanek.
Thomas Vanek.
Jack. Like.
Jack.
No. You just said it, though.
Miro Shatan.
He's 12.
Okay, so
Funny
we
enough.
just need 11.
You need 11. You said it already.
Drury.
No.
Briere.
No.
Stu Barnes. Not even close.
Is it Poopa?
No. It was the only guy that you said that
Marty
you haven't
Braun.
resaid. No.
Rhett Warner.
You just said him.
Like, how would you.
Like
Funny enough.
Hey, you guys want to know a name? Jeff Gilson.
Rick Vive.
Rick Vine.
Who did I just say?
Yuri Novotny.
Jason Pominville.
Jason Pominville.
Yeah.
The population.
Okay, and then 12?
You got 12.
I got Shatan.
Oh, okay.
You know who 13 would have been?
Mersey Satan.
Rafi Torres.
I can check.
Most random Sabre you can name to end the show. Go.
Rick Vive.
It's not that random.
It's pretty darn random.
Vladimir Sobotka.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Michael Neuwirth.
That's not that random.
How long was he a Sabre for? A year?
Like
No.
a half a season.
He was good.
All right.
He
Okay.
once
Well,
was good.
I think that's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
You guys. Yeah. All right.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Last one. I'm going to call
I
it out.
guess not.
Who's 13?
2012-13 Sabres. The leading point scorer had 40 points.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Miserable. Well, no. Hold on.
He had
12,
41.
12-13 season was lockout shortened.
Oh, okay. I just hit a random one.
How
And it was-
many
it
games
was-
played?
It was Vanek
It was,
How
I
many
was
games
just gonna
played?
say Vanek.
in 38 games.
Okay,
played.
that checks out.
Yeah.
Well, guess who was second with 48 games played? 34 points.
You're
You're wrong.
No.
Guess 5 times you're wrong.
Drew Stafford.
Wrong. Wrong. Again.
Craig Reve. Huge season.
Greg Reve
He was our captain.
with 38 points.
John Scott was on the team.
Who was it, Jake?
Nathan Kirby.
Cody.
Hodgson.
Cody
Wow.
Hodgson.
His hands.
Buyout.
Filthy.
Buyout Factory. Him and
Filthy.
Ehrhoff and Leno.
Well,
All right.
that wraps up the Sabres talk and also wraps up
Rest
the
of all
Talk Talk. Talk by Talk Talk.
Talk Talk here incorporated.
Presented by Talk.
Poopa. Follow us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Send us an email.
AOL. I think we're hot on AOL
hot
right
on
now.
AOL.
Yep.
Okay.
You've got mail.
Swipe right on our...
Check out my MySpace page.
MySpace, crypto. That's not a social
that,
media.
though.
Crypto?
We're not on Tinder.
I am. 2 balls, 1 puck. Swipe right.
And
That's
that's
the
show.
biggest thing in Tinder.
Thanks, everybody.